Good morning, what's shaking, what's happening? Today is 18 of our Holland America or Grand Voyage cruise around the world, and today it's Easter Island Day. Are we gonna make it on? Let's find out. Now, they have done a lot of prep work. They have had a lot of meetings with us, a lot of presentations about this specific port. 6 out of 10 cruise ships will miss it. Holland decided this year they're going to do an overnight to give us 2 chances to make it. Last year they were shut out, and 2019 I think was the last time they attempted to be here. They made it in the morning, and by the afternoon they had stopped all tendering, so approximately I think like half the passengers didn't get to go on. So they have really tried to find a way to get everyone onto Easter Island. They've also talked about if they have to stop tendering today, how they're going to prioritize passengers tomorrow. The entire tender process is a little different, including how you get your tender ticket. It is now on deck 3 at the main dining room because the line is expected to be that long. We are actually about to go join it 2 hours before they set out tender tickets, just because it is going to be that popular. That's why we got room service. That's why room service is hopping. So it can be a difficult port to manage. So what makes this port so difficult is the ocean swells. He doesn't care about the wind. He doesn't care about the rain. He said the big indicator for Easter Island is the swells, because the minimum that tends to happen at Easter Island is the maximum that Holland will send out a tender boat. It has to be almost a perfect situation for people to get off of a cruise ship, which is why so many cruise ships miss this call. But even sailing around it, look at how magical and mystical it looks. It is this island out in the middle of nowhere. We have 7 sea days after this to get to our next port of call, which is Papeete, Tahiti, which is the only other place that you can fly to from Easter Island besides Santiago, Chile. Now, Easter Island is also incredibly remote and not very developed, as in credit cards are probably not going to be taken here. There are some places that have Wi-Fi because there are some hotels that have learned how to do online bookings. It is not safe to drink the water on Easter Island. They said even if you buy a bottle of water, make sure it is sealed, make sure you hear the top open. Otherwise, do not drink it because the water is not safe for us because we're used to like filtered water. And just really remote. It's like the 3rd remote most inhabited island or something like that on the list. It will vary. That list varies a little bit every year. But yeah, Easter Island, the big draw is wild horses and then the moa statues. We have an excursion tomorrow, but today we have to do the tender process. So let's see how it goes. Let's see if we get a tender ticket. Let's see if we even stop. Let's see if our tender ticket gets called. So many things can happen. We've all been asked to be fluid. There's nothing that they can do about anything. It is all about safety, to the point if you get to the tender dock and they don't think you're going to make the tender process, they will tell you you're not allowed to go, and it's not to be disputed. Also, in this tender process, there's an officer on every tender boat, which you don't normally see either, but he wants an officer on every tender boat just to ensure maximum safety and that someone is there, person of leadership. And the only person that's been here before is the captain and I think the hotel manager, and then after that, no one in the tendering staff. None of the tender sailors or anything like that. This is all their first time dealing with Easter Island, but the captain has been optimistic the entire time. It is a beautiful day. It is a lot of wind. It is hard to tell the ocean swells near the island up here because it's near the island where they get bad. Also, it's very primitive in how it's docked, meaning you kind of walk up a staircase that has no handrails and is not even things that would not be allowed. So in the States, but you know, we're in Easter Island, Chile, so it is what it is. But let's see what happens. All right, 7:55. I'm in the line. The crew's getting ready to go out, and this is the line currently. The main dining room is at the end of that hallway, but I think it's going to work out for us because it looks like C is going to be able to sit down right there in that little cubicle area, make it a little bit nicer. All right. right, so I have been in line for 1 hour. Let's see how long it is. So we've made it from the photo store to the Ocean Bar, which is right past the photo store. Quite honestly, I could have gotten in line at 9 o'clock. It would have made the difference of 1 or 2 tenders, but on a day like today, 1 or 2 tenders could actually be like an hour, hour and a half. So we'll see if life decisions worked out for me. All right, things are moving at a much faster pace all of a sudden. It is 9:22 or 9:26. They started handing out tickets at 9:22. We are blue 7. They've already called blue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, as we were getting our 7 ticket, we have to run back to the room real quick to put on sunscreen. And then we're just going to make our way back down to 2, I think, and hang out. Was not expecting that. All right, so following up what I was trying to say in the hallway, but we were rushing down the hallway. They were not supposed to start handing out tickets till 10. All of a sudden, they started handing them out at 9:22, and they were calling people to the tender by 9:26. So we have eaten, which is important, because we thought, they told everyone get a tender ticket at 10 and go up and eat, and then you're going to be called probably 11 or 12. But we have eaten, but it is expected for the first tender to take 20-30 minutes. So we do have some time, but not enough time to get anything else to eat, which is fine. We're good. But it did cause us to rush because we weren't completely ready to go. Our bag was already packed. We did have it with us, but a few minute last prep things. We were in the elevator with another couple who was blue 9, and they were flipping out also. They were like, oh my God. We both said, well, maybe if you're just like a group late, they'll let you on. The girl said, I am not taking any risks today. I don't know what they're going to do. So we're almost got our final preps done. It's 9:32, and we're just going to go hang out on deck 2, so that way we're close to A deck. No elevator service to A deck today. We have to walk down from 1 to A, which we're just going to walk down from 2 to A. Not that big of a deal, but very, very surprised. Things are looking good thus far. Now, we haven't made it to the tender yet, so we'll figure that out in a minute, how good that is. 9:34, we were called for tender. So we go from there, and you go all the way from there, past this, down this rocky ledge. There's a tender passing us now to there. And with that, we have made it on to Easter Island. All right, so it is a 1-mile trek to get to the town here on Easter Island from the tender port. It is very humid. It's overcast, thankfully, so it's keeping the temperature down, but it is very slippery, very muddy, lots of potholes. We did have a local stop and ask us if we wanted her to drive us around the island today. You can do that. We have a tour tomorrow, so we're not super worried about that, but there's statues all along the route, which is really cool. The Moai statues, they're all over the island. Just be mindful of where you walk, where you step. There's also a bunch of stray dogs. One of them has taken a very much so liking to see and has kind of followed us around, which is kind of cute. We kind of like that. We don't have any pets. Both of our animals had passed, and just couldn't bring ourselves to get another one. So, but it is stunning. Look, turn a corner and there's the ship. Oh my goodness. It wasn't a long tender, but it was a rough tender, and it was definitely difficult getting on. Let me take a picture of C with her new best friend. All right, so we have made it to the main street here at the town in Easter Island, and I think we're actually going to head back. There's not too terribly much to do. We're just kind of aimlessly walking. It's a sleepy town. Things are really just starting to open. It's 10:45. There's no one in the coffee shop, which makes us give pause about going in there. The billboard onboard piano players are at this little empanada restaurant across the street from us. They speak Spanish, so I think they're trying to figure out what there is to do. But we've never really been into their shows, so I don't think we're going to call them and ask them what they're doing. But I think we might just head back to the ship because we have a big tour tomorrow. We just wanted to make sure we could set foot on Easter Island today. All right, so we decided, it is 11 o'clock. We decided just to walk back to the ship. The restaurants were just getting open. We were kind of freaked out with the don't drink the water thing. It makes us a little iffy about the food on the island. I think it's okay because I had read some TripAdvisor reviews, but the only thing open, or that was opening up, was a pizza stand. So you can't have dairy, so that's not necessarily gonna work out for her. And an empanada place, which sometimes those can have dairy in them. So for those reasons, the food safety reasons, between the water and the dairy allergy, we are better off just going back to the ship to eat lunch. The town is not very big, super walkable, other than the uneven terrain. Only about 6,000 people actually live on this island. The horses outnumber the people. So it's definitely, I do think it was worth the tender, and I do think it was worth the walk into town. The oceanside part was very, very beautiful. The terrain to get this crossover into the middle of town, it's a little bit rougher. Plus there's a big arts crafts thing is what I've been told and what I've heard. We go to it tomorrow as part of our excursion, so we don't necessarily need to find it today because we're gonna do it tomorrow. So we are making our way slowly but surely back. Look at this cute little wiener dog. He's adorable. All right, to get to town from the tender port, what you're gonna do is you're gonna follow the road outside of the tender port where all these statues are. You're gonna go to the road with you're gonna go, not the road, but there's a point where you get this big fish. This guy right here, once you see this fish, you want to go on the road directly apart from it. So fish here, road there. You follow that road, right, is it? Yeah, that road. I just couldn't see it with my sunglasses. And that will take you straight into the teeny tiny town. But there was an empanada shop, there was a pizzeria. As far as bathrooms were concerned, we passed a government building. It did have public restrooms, but we didn't notice that until the way back. But there was also the pizza shop where we used the restroom at, just to do it before we went back onto the ship. But now we are gonna head back to the port, grab a tender ticket, and see how long it takes us to tender back to shore. All right, it's about 1:40 right now. The captain opened up the bow for the front just like he did for the Panama Canal. And it's just starting to drizzle a little bit. But let me show you guys the views from out here before the rain gets too bad. So look at this island. Now the rain's over, it's giving a little bit of mystique, mystery. Now I will say this. Easter Island definitely gave me vibes of Nuka Hiva and the Marquesas, where we went to this past like February, March on the 35-night Hawaii Marquesas French Polynesia one that they do, and the fact that there are statues at the side of the road that you could see. Like I said, it was a lot of walking for us. I think we walked around for an hour and a half solid. We have a big tour planned tomorrow, so like I said, it might sound like we didn't do a lot today, but that's fine with us because we have the big tour tomorrow and we get to enjoy this incredible view today. It is phenomenal, and it just started to rain, but the weather is very, very nice today. All right, tonight for dinner, we are going to start. C got the non-dairy falafel. It is rather different looking than mine because I got the regular falafel, but hers looks pretty good. So we're doing good. All right, entrees have arrived. C went with the vegan ratatouille tonight. It was a regular menu item. They do put a vegan item on the menu every night, and tonight it tickled her fancy. For me, I went for the barramundi. I think I might win prettiest dish this evening. I got some extra lemons because I couldn't remember if I like barramundi or not. So a lot of times I'll get lemons just in case. Squirt a lot of lemon juice and then it's good to go. And with that, we are going to close out our first day here at Easter Island. It was a great, great day. Great weather. We really, really lucked up. Dinner was fantastic. We had a great time in the main dining room. The food was amazing. We didn't eat dessert there, which is why I didn't show you anything. We just kind of headed up to Lido. The Lido buffet and Lido pool set was doing sort of like an island dream kind of theme tonight. It was pretty cute. They had... First off, Holland has spared no expense when it comes to these decorations that we've had during this voyage. It was beautiful. There was like little lotus flowers floating in the pool, and they had these little things that shot up water, and they had these little like thatch covered hut things. It was really, really nice. So, and they had music going and stuff. It was a nice way to kind of unwind and relax because there's been a lot of, not stress or tension, but there's been a lot of anxiety, I think, and nervousness and, you know, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it to Easter Island? And we made it. So it was a nice way to unwind from all that. Now, Easter Island, they did stop tendering at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, they made an announcement that no more guests were going to be able to go ashore. It was only going to bring guests back. You can tell that the conditions have changed because we can feel the ship having to hold its position more and more and more. I do think we are moving tonight to a different position around the island. There's a storm coming up from the south, so I think he wants to go more to the north side of the island, which means that we are possibly going to have a longer tender ride in tomorrow. Tomorrow we do have a tour scheduled, because that's why we didn't feel so bad about leaving early today, because people were like, oh, you didn't stay long. We stayed just long enough for us. We were good. We were good. We still felt like we had a nice time. We saw a lot. There isn't a lot to see unless you're willing to rent a taxi, to rent a car, to pay a tour in the area where you dock. Everything else is on foot. And like I said, the craft market we're going to tomorrow. The statues we're going to tomorrow, like the big national park statues. There's a ton of it on the island, so I don't know which exact group we're going to. I didn't realize how many different sets of statues there were. I always thought it was just the one, but it's a bunch apparently. Learned a lot about Easter Island this trip. But I will also tell you this. I don't know where all the people are. We came back from Easter Island and we ran into our room attendant and he said the ship's basically empty, and he was not kidding. At Lido lunch, you could have heard crickets. There was only a few other tables. Dinner was very quiet. Even the Lido buffet tonight is very quiet. So I'm not sure where everyone is. They did offer a overland experience for Easter Island for the first time, I believe, because they'd done the 2 nights and some people had independently booked an overnight with Easter Island or on Easter Island with a third-party tour group. So, you know, I don't know, but there is nowhere to be found. Or people are just tired, which is kind of like us. It is like right around 7 o'clock, and we're about ready to call it a night. We were up so early. We have to be up again early tomorrow. But a few things of note. I did not need to get in line that early. I did not. I could have gotten into line at 9 o'clock when at 9 o'clock Kimberly made an announcement about our plan is to start handing out tender tickets at 10 a.m. There is a line that is already formed. That's when the line really started to build, but it never really built past the ocean bar. So it was the main dining room area, the photos place where we were, and then the ocean bar, and then that's basically where the line stopped. There was no one else in it. So we could have waited another hour to get into that line. We had friends that waited and were behind us in the ocean bar area, and they were only a few tenders after us. We were like the 3rd tender out. It also went much quicker than anticipated. They did not start giving out tickets at 10. They started giving them out at the 9:22, causing us to have the mad dash. So we felt very rushed instead of, you know, everything we had been described was it's going to take forever. It did not take forever. So do not believe it's going to take forever. I think they tell you it's going to take forever because then that way when it only takes 5 minutes, you're good to go. But we barely made our tender boat to the point. They almost gave our spots away because they didn't realize that we were rushing to get there because we were in the room, because that's what they say. Go back to your room. Go to a public area. Don't worry about hanging out anywhere near the staircase, and we literally got there all coming off an elevator saying blue 7, and somebody that was blue 10, they were like, oh, no, just come on, we have 2 spots, come on. And then he was like, oh, never mind, we don't have 2 spots anymore. And then when we came back, we were the only people on the tender boat. They kind of forgot we were there. They said, oh, you need to get off. And I said, yes, we do. Can we get off now, please? So that was a pretty funny experience. But yeah, I didn't need to be in line that early. But it was still an interesting time. It wasn't as nearly as a scary process as they kind of presented it, but I do think they had to always present worst case scenario, and we ended up with more of a best case scenario today. I do not know what tomorrow is going to bring, so we will have to find out. But tomorrow, we are scheduled on a Holland America excursion to take us kind of more around the island to see a little bit more. We basically just went to the main drag here, and they had somebody handing out magazines so you can kind of see the main drags, the little map, to where most of the people live and shop and things like that. But tomorrow should be the arts and crafts sale area marketplace, I think is what it's called. And like I said, I think we're going into the national park to see some statues. So should be a good time. So make sure you hit that notification button, like, subscribe, follow us along, thumbs up, and keep following us along to see the adventures of this world cruise. Have a great night. Bye.